You know what that means? It's time to play Mastemon. And also, don't forget to get your Spacetime Angel playmat on the AVAULT store right now. I've been waiting this for a long time, ever since BT11 with EX6, Inferno Ascension. Got new cards to play with. Mastemon Ace, Lady Devimon, Angelumon, and even a brand new Mirai, which is all the support we've been needing.
Jeff, the second wave of regional signups is up.
Signups up?
Go!
We gotta hurry up.
I made it. Honestly, guys, this is way too stressful. Okay, so this is the build I'm gonna be running for this online regional. So after reading some of your comments and feedback, I do think and agree Patamon and the whole yellow vaccine engine seems to be way more suitable. That's because you can sort of turbo into your Gatomon and getting into for free. You can go into a level 5 without even passing turn and do a lot more stuff that way too. And that makes a lot of sense, especially I wanted to play the BT14 TK alongside with it to set up the security so I can ensure what I have in there. Initially, I was gonna go for EX6 Salamon as my secondary rookie because the gaining memory is kind of nice, but I realized it doesn't really help boost the consistency, which is why I decided to go for BT16 Uko as my secondary rookie to help me speed up the process if I ever need to. Great turn 1 play, find cards that I need, and also hatch an egg so I can follow up with Patamon afterwards, and just to try to keep up with the speed of the meta as well against fast-paced decks. Since I'm playing Patamon, it makes sense to increase my yellow vaccine count, which is why I added the BT13 Geogray to help me hit some of my yellow tamers, which we'll talk about more in a bit too. As for the level 5s, the Angelumon hasn't really changed too much when it comes to lineup because it helps you search security, the other one from EX6 lets you play Mirai. For Lady Devi, I decided to go for a 2-2-2 split with the EX6, BT11, and the one from the starter deck. The starter deck I like because you can kind of search and boost up the consistency and find more ways to trash a card from your hand. And the biggest level 5 change really is the Lucemon Chaos mode. Instead of playing the EX6 one, I took it out completely and just playing one copy of BT7 Lucemon, just because you can actually selectively choose to pop a tamer, pop a Digimon on your opponent's side of the board, which is just generally better comparing it with the EX6 Lucemon because your opponent will get to choose a favorable decision for their end instead. But the other reason why I reduced the amount of Lucemons that you need to play in this deck is just because you want to always end the board with a Mastemon plus a level 5 that is actually either Angelumon or Lady Devimon, so you can always threaten the blast ace of the Mastemon when it comes to DNA and the counter timing. I actually took out the BT11 Mirai and played a Memory Setter TK instead, just because I felt like it guaranteed me the start of turn at 3 memory, instead of just gaining 1 where I'm sometimes at 2, which is not enough. I also took out Chaos Degradation completely and play Flame House Scythe instead, just because I felt like it can provide a bit more versatile plays. And since we're playing a yellow base now, I just felt Reinforcing Memory Boost is just an absolute no-brainer to help you stack up your security and even search your card, and delay to gain 3 memory is just ultra value.
Yeah, and you got it there. Yep, you got it. Yeah, and then you got it. What? GG's. Yeah, you got it.
GG's.
Man. What's the matter? What are you doing here? The deck looks fine. I don't know, man. I played this deck like a ton of times and I don't know, it's just not working, you know? Just give it another try. Nah, I'm good. How about this? If you beat me, I'll give you a bunch of EX6 packs, but you'll have to beat my 3 best decks. EX6 packs? I don't even need EX6 packs. Are you sure? You don't want to run into another arena problem, do you?
Oh no, not the arena problem again. I'm gonna have to collect so many packs, but I am gonna get some free packs this time. Maybe it's worth the try. I don't know, man. Like, is that actually worth the try?
What about those Demon Lord Altards you were talking about the other day?
Oh man, he got it at the 7th Great Demon Lords. Gotta admit, those cards look super sick. I definitely do want to collect them. Oh, man, but I don't want to pay for them. I mean, this is a chance. Getting from free packs, potentially pulling them, you know? I mean, like, yeah.
Come on, man. Just do it for the fans. The deck has potential. Fine. I'm mainly doing it for the packs, but I'll do it for the fans too.
Okay, so this build on Digimon Meta is pretty interesting because this one actually plays more like a top hand heavy with Ophani fall down mode and Ophani ace as well, and they can kind of go on top of each other. Ophani fall down mode is great, and then eventually you would kind of play like a Mastemon Digivolve, or you can even use like Mega Digimon Assembly to go into Ordainemon instantly. And thanks to the new Mirai, you can even do end of turn DNA, which is kind of cool. So the only thing I'm kind of like afraid of is just breaking in the early game, but yeah, I'm not too sure.
The way that Cherubi beats the Magnemon and Cody basically allows this deck to play without losing.
Okay, so Cherubi Ace does seem pretty cool because you can blast on top of your Angelomon, play out like a Gato, and continue to search. Cody TK makes a lot of sense. Can gain memory, de-digivolve stuff, which is a really good form of removal right now. But there's only one issue with that one because I feel like you don't have enough time to set it up early, aside from like maybe you get lucky in security, I guess, because you're playing Mirai already, you have to pay a lot, you have to play a second Mirai. You might be able to play one out for free, but then there's quite a lot of setup, unless I think the whole idea is to sort of like clap back afterwards.
And when you have enough resources to spend, where going for a play doesn't mean...
Okay, that's really cool, because that actually gives me a little bit of a different perspective of how to play the deck, and I could go for different lines than I usually would actually.
Okay, so I'll just take this out and I'll put this in, and then I'll have this as well. What do you think?
Pokemon is good for consistency. Don't play that EX6 Chaos Ball. Just play that BT7 one. Just pop the thing, okay? And then for the Chaos Degradation, maybe Flamehouse Scythe, play your body. And then so when they swing again, you ace them.
Okay.
And then after that, you... Geogray is not too bad. You know, and one extra vaccine, you know, upper chance. And just security, you see that pattern more, so you don't bet.
All right, so here's the updated build. There's actually not a whole lot of changes after doing all that research, but I think it mainly just came down to how I was playing it. So the first thing is I took out this Gautamon. Initially, I thought it was a great yellow vaccine target, but I didn't realize it actually has to Digivolve on top of purple and red Digimon only. So you actually can't utilize Patamon because Patamon doesn't ignore the Digivolution requirement. You still have to follow the same requirements of being able to Digivolve naturally on top of yellow Digimon. One of the biggest things that I kind of realized when I was playing the online regional was the Memory Setter TK. Although it gave a lot of consistency to the deck, which is great to grab any yellow card, and having that Memory Setter to enable the plays is good, but I realized I'm often passing the turn back to the opponent, controlling the board, which is great, but I'm kind of just slowing the game pace down for no reason because I'm not really pushing it for the win. And this is the moment where I think it's just pretty obvious to most of us. I should have never taken out the BT11 Mirai because it's really been how I've been playing, and I should actually be prioritizing setting up both Mirais at the same time as much as possible, because by having both of them, often enough I'm actually able to combo and keep my own turn after DNAing into any Mastemon. And by being able to keep the turn after going to Mastemon means I can actually at least attack into their security to push for the win slowly and bit by bit. So to sum it up, I just need to switch gears and play the deck differently from a different perspective and make sure to keep an eye on different lines of play.
Okay, so the very first deck that Justin brought up against me was Magnemon X. And if you guys know, that's actually his #1 best deck already. So really hard challenge, but we were talking about it before we play. We kind of conversed and kind of felt like this might be the easiest matchup because I have a lot of control and it kind of removes stuff and I can kind of play the game slowly that way because of that natural game state. But guess what? I lost 0-2 completely. And here's how. So #1 thing is Mastemon generally likes to go second, but you kind of have to force yourself to go first to reduce the amount of aggro against it. Game 1 was incredibly tough. We opened our hand and we're just like, okay, we gotta mulligan this. And came out pretty much the same. There was no rookie to work off and no tamers. And that's usually what we want to see. But I was still able to climb up. I went into BT11 Angelomon, took a peek at my security, and this is the moment I knew it was all over. So at that point, we just sat with Angelomon and relied on the top deck to see if we can draw an out. But in the end, we still can't deny the inevitable because Justin kept on going into his Magnemon and Zoodle Ace to keep bouncing us over and over again, chipped us down, and we basically lost. Game 2, like I said before, I needed to go first. So I hard played my level 5s to threaten the Blast DNA Ace. But as you figured, we got bounced over and over again. But Justin was smart. He didn't go easy on me at all. He made sure to clear off my board and then proceed to chip my security once there was nothing on there. By taking it slow, he built an incredibly wide board. Eventually, I kind of wish I had Death X. By going all out with a bunch of attacks against my security, it couldn't even save me, and I basically lost 0-2. So for round 2, Justin brought WINNABLE, and as we all know, it's a very strong deck. Maybe a bit too strong, as a matter of fact. But since this is a aggro matchup, I want to go first as well again. Game 1, I was able to get into EX6 AVAULT and play out a Mirai for free early. And that's a really good position to start off with. But as we know, WINNABLE has Monzai X, they can just go wide and then just DP reduce us before we even get a chance to even ace them. From there, I was forced to catch up, but Justin rushed me down so quickly and I basically lost game 1. Game 2, like I said, I had to go first, but this time it was great. I got Patamon, Ukomon, and TK to begin cycling through my security as soon as possible. I even had BT11 Mirai early, so then I was quickly able to climb up into Mastemon and clear his board. I then gave him as little memory as possible to work with, limiting his plays. He even tried to do the Edamon combo with Valkyrie Ace on me, but I answered with Ruin Mode, clearing it all off afterwards too. I established a huge advantage, took out all his security, and actually won, which is a fantastic example of how the optimal version of this deck and of how Mastemon is supposed to be played. And if you're a deluxe member, don't forget to check out the gameplay with full commentary as well. Came down to game 3. Of course, Justin wants to go first. We were off to a decent start. We got Patamon and TK once again, but we got into an awkward spot because I had to play a Godamon to continue to find my pieces, and we revealed nothing but triple Mirais, which ended up getting bottom deck and I couldn't grab anything. Since I missed that opportunity to combo off, Justin began cleaning out my Digimon. And just like all WINNABLE things, he went super wide with Ukomons and all of that, and there was just too much pressure that I just can't answer. So unfortunately, we lost the round 1 and 2. But I am glad that I took at least one game off one of the strongest decks of the format. Alright, the final round 3. Justin brought Imperial, and this one is actually the hardest matchup for Mastemon. And that is because it actually has all the answers against it. First, the old starter deck Paildramon can bottom deck all of our level 5s because they're all 6000 DP. Dragon Mode also denies our ace capabilities during his turn. He can combo it off with Fighter Mode since he has turn player priority, bottom decking us as we attempt to blast DNA. Partition with the BT16 Paildramon also plays around our removal. But there are actually small windows of opportunities where we can look out to win. Game 1, I went second, and it's not too bad in this matchup because Imperial at the end of the day is still a piece reliant deck, so Justin had to spend the early stages of the game finding his pieces for his combos. So it is good because he can chip away at my security and then maybe get some value out of it and then clap back. At one point he had 2 Paildramons and I noticed one of them didn't have partition. So this is why I saw my chance. By having double Mirai, I can go for some crazy DNA combos before he's able to pull anything off. So I went into the old Master and played out EX6 Lady Devi to pop his Paildramon, and even with partition, I can at least clear something off. Then I swung over his other Paildramon with Master and finished it off with an Angelomon Ace, clearing his board entirely. Justin tried to clap back with another Paildramon stack, but this time we also countered it with the Mastemon Ace. Got rid of his Paildramon and trashed the top of his security until it has 4 left, and even popped one of his partition targets because of the old Mastemon effect is all turns. And just with that, I had enough swings, and I even DNA'd into an Ordaimon afterwards for the final attack. Game 2, we went second again, and we were able to find Patamon, Gaudamon, and cycle through security with Angelomon, which is great, but Justin did have the answer with the old Paildramon, which bottom decked our Angelomon completely, so we lost all that value. He ended up with a Dragon Mode stack, even though with the double Mirai, we're just not able to combo off because the Dragon Mode is going to resolve its effect to go into Fighter Mode first before we can even go for end of turn plays with the Mirais. From that, we lost too much and Justin just swung out on us, winning game 2. Game 3, I opted to go second once again. I got my Patamon, but this time I couldn't find any level 4s, so I set up the double Mirai combo instead. So Justin went into Paildramon and then finished off with a Dragon Mode, locking down my BT11 Mirai so that I couldn't pull off the combo. He began chipping at my security and time was ticking, and unfortunately I wasn't even able to find any Mastemon to DNA afterwards. So I lost around 1 and 2 in the end, but I honestly felt that the games were so close where victory was just in our grasp.
I had my doubts in the beginning, but after playing more games with it, I actually learned a lot more than I thought, and the process was actually fun. I'm definitely excited to revisit this again, especially with Amber Memory Boost. coming in the LM set, which is exactly what the deck needed. So if you want to see more Mastemon content in the future, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned.
Oh, here. I got the packs for him.
Ooh,
What?
lost.
He lost?